Good day, everybody. Today, I'd like to answer some questions that I've seen on theory and saxophone forums about modes. And I'm going to explain this a couple of ways, but the first way I like to do it is to conceptualize it as something else instead of it being music theory ish. Think of it as a hamburger. So think of your major scale as a hamburger. So you have your Ionian hamburger. This is your first mode. So you go down the bottom and you have your uh, bun, you have your beef, you have your cheese, you have a little lettuce, tomato, bacon, mustard, and a top bun. All right? And that's just your homegrown hamburger. All right? Easy to pick up, easy to eat. All right? When we're thinking of modes, though, I want you to think of it as a hamburger with the same ingredients, but in a different order. All right? So if you eat the whole thing, it's the same ingredients, but because they are in a different order, you're going to have a slightly different flavor. Right? So your Ionian hamburger is your traditional hamburger. All right? Let's go to your Dorian hamburger. And your Dorian hamburger starts with the beef patty. Okay? Same ingredients, but we're going to start with the beef patty, cheese, lettuce, tomato, bacon, mustard, bun, and another beef patty on top. Right? So you're going to hold your hamburger together with two beef patties. It's probably not my favorite way to do it, but it's still a hamburger. It's just put it together differently. And over here on the left, let me go over, explain this. The Ionian one, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So if I look at my ingredients from the bottom up, I have the bun is 1, the beef is 2, the cheese is 3, the lettuce is 4, the tomato is 5, the bacon is 6, the mustard is 7, and the top bun is 1 again. All right? And an Ionian is a major mode. Back to our Dorian. Okay? We're not starting with the bun. We're going to start with 2, which is the hamburger bun. 3 is the cheese. 4 is the lettuce. 5 is the tomato. 6 is your bacon, 7 is your mustard, 1 is your bun, and then you're going to top it off with another patty. And that's a minor mode. All right? You can see that things are still there's a pattern here. When I go to Phrygian mode, it's a minor sounding mode. All right? And you just look at the ingredients. It's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. So instead of having the beef or the bun at the beginning, we're going to start with the cheese. So cheese, lettuce, tomato, bacon, mustard, bun, hamburger patty, cheese as our hamburger. You see they're the same ingredients, but you know when you taste them and you put it in your mouth, it's going to have different texture, different taste because of the way they are stacked, which is exactly the way the modes work. Right? Your Lydian hamburger is 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a major mode. Okay? And it is held together by 2 pieces of lettuce. So you have lettuce, tomato, bacon, mustard, bun, beef patty, cheese, lettuce. All right? And that's a major mode again, your Lydian hamburger. Your Mixolydian hamburger, right? It's 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same ingredients, just a different order. This is a hamburger held together by tomatoes on bookends. So you start with your tomato, onion, mustard, hamburger bun, hamburger, a patty, cheese, lettuce, and tomato. All right? You could hold a hamburger together with tomatoes. I might not want to, But again, it's still the same ingredients, but it's going to be a different flavor because of the way they are put together. Aeolian hamburger. This is 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to have a hamburger held together by 2 pieces of bacon. Yum. And I am also let you know that this is a relative minor. That means it is the related minor in relation to the major scale. I'm going to make a video about that later. But for our purposes right now, Aeolian is a mode, and the relative minor is a mode of the major scale. All right, so we're going to have our hamburger that starts with a nice slice of bacon, some mustard, a bun, hamburger patty, cheese, lettuce, tomato, and another piece of bacon. All right, and the Locrian hamburger. This is the messy one, and I made it this way on purpose because it's not a mode we usually use, because who wants to have mustard all over their fingers? So this one starts off with some mustard on the bottom, a bun, a hamburger patty, cheese, lettuce, tomato, bacon, and more mustard on top. So as you can see here, they're all part of the same ingredients, just in different orders. All right. So let's get to some brass tacks here with what does this look like musically? All right. So I've started this thing called Modes of C, and I'm doing it in both clefs for our friends with bass clef. Anyway, so if I want to turn this into a Dorian mode, okay, go over here, paste that, okay, I just need to put them in a different order. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to cut this one off, cut this one off, and then I'm going to put it and you can see, oops, undo, wrong tool, 7, 1, 2. All right, so same scale, but different order. Right? How do I turn this into a Phrygian? I do the same thing again. Okay, except I'm going to start on 3. I want to copy. Okay, I'm going to turn these into a Phrygian one. So this is Ionian, Dorian. I'm going to make this into a Phrygian. Oops, there we go. All right. And let's put some labels here. 3. There we go. This is now a E Phrygian scale. And let's go over to, let's make a Lydian scale. And by the way, this concept works for any scale. I'm going to do some random ones at the end just to show you. But this is why you only need to know one scale, and that's the major scale, because everything is related to it. I'll put a little label here. 4. Notice none of the notes have changed. They haven't changed pitch. They haven't gone up or down. They haven't gone flats or sharps or anything. It is just the same scale, but in a different order. And we'll get to Mixolydian. All right, so Mixolydian. Okay, I'm going to take the 4. Get rid of him. Goodbye, 4. I'm going to put him on top. put the 5 on top. And put the little label on here. And voila, I have a Mixolydian. So let's go over this again. I have Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian. Next is Aeolian. And why I like to use numbers is because it's just easier instead of trying to remember all the notes. Just remember the numbers. If you can remember the order of the numbers, you can do anything. And I'm going to transpose this one down because it's getting a little down. We'll go down octave. There we go. Boom. There. A little easier to read. All right, so I'm making an Aeolian scale. So I'm going to take my Mixolydian. I'm going to chop off that. I'm going to add and put him at the beginning. And let's label him 6. And then we also have our final mode, which is Locrian. I sometimes call it the forbidden mode because it's got tritones naturally in it from the 1st and the 5th degree. It's got this real sort of diminished sound. And I think in all of my time, I think I have found maybe 1 or 2 excerpts that actually use it specifically, and it's in a passing sentence. So if you're going to analyze a piece, you don't see this one very often. It's there because it exists. Now, let's give each one a listen. And I'm going to slow this down. Let's go slow you down to 70. So you get a feel for each one. All right, now when you hear it that way, it sounds a lot like an exercise. So I'm going to try to isolate each one so you get a better feeling of it. Okay. And I'm going to stop on measure 2. All right. Does that do it? Okay. There's your major scale. Here's your Dorian. Dorian. Okay. Here is your Lydian. So I'm going to go 3, 4 here. Here's your Lydian. I'm sorry, Phrygian. Excuse me. I'm going to start on 4. This is your Phrygian. And we'll go to your Mixolydian. And we'll go to Aeolian. we're going to go to Locrian. All right. So, to give you a better idea of what these sound like, let's go. What if we started them all on C? Okay. This might be an even better way to do it. So, I'm just going to take this one. And let's see. Let's close that for right now. All right. Let's go down here. What if they all started on C? Okay. I'll just go down to here. All right. So we have Ionian. Now, what if I wanted this one to be a C Dorian? So the tonic, the first note, is going to stay the same. All right. First note will stay the same. So let's see. C. So I want to start in the second note. The second note. So C is the second note of B flat. So I'm going to change the key signature to B flat. There we go. And I'm going to write a C scale. Okay. Somebody asked this on the saxophone forum. They said it's a Dorian as a minor. So this does sound minor, but this is a Dorian minor instead of your traditional or your other related minor. So what's the difference here? Okay, so I have whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Now I have whole, half, whole, 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 half, whole. So that's another way to consider it in your way of thinking about it. Is the way they sound the way they do is because of the way the intervals are written. All right. So this would be, if I'm thinking B flat scale, this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. All right. Now if I want to say C Phrygian, all right. So C is the third note of A flat. So here's A flat. Okay. So I'm going to create a C scale on here. But the key signature has changed, so the intervals are now different. Mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, mi. All right. And if we're thinking in the key of A flat, where did my mouse go? Where'd you go? There you are. Yes, that's hand solo. Okay, so it goes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. All right. Now, if I want to do the fourth mode, C is the fourth note of G major. So I'm going to change my key signature here. And by the way, this works for anyone. This is why you only need to know your major scale. Again, you know one scale, you can do them all. So I'm putting a G key signature, but I'm going to start on C. This one sounds exotic because it has this augmented interval between the tonic and the fourth note. It's kind of a cool sound. All right. So there is your C Lydian. So to be C Lydian, C is the fourth degree of G major. And there you go. All right, I'm going to do Mixolydian. Keep going down the line here. Okay, C is the fifth scale degree of F, so I'm going to put in the F key signature. All right, F, and I'm going to go C to C. Sounds really familiar so far, but there's going to be a change right here. Ooh. All right, that's your C Mixolydian. C Aeolian. All right. C is the sixth degree of E flat. So this is your, if you're thinking, normally you would be saying C minor. All right. So you go C to C, but with three flats. All right. Here's your Aeolian minor. Now, there are different versions of the scale, and I'm going to make a video about that later too, about your natural, harmonic, and melodic minors, but we're not talking about that right now. All right, your last one. C is the seventh degree of the key of D flat. And somebody says, well, why don't you say C sharp? Because it is the seventh scale degree of C flat. If I was doing the B sharp major scale from the beginning, yeah, I would use C sharp. But I am going to use D flat. No, wrong way. There we go. D flat major right there. Boom. So it's a D flat major scale, C to C, but using a D flat key signature. It's got that really unfinished sound. All right. So these are all your modes of, so the beginning here, if I took a C scale and I wanted to do the modes from C, so I'm not changing the key signature, but I'm going to take the notes and put them in a different order. There you go. They're in a different order. So I have Ionian, starts on 1 to 1. Dorian, 2 to 2. Phrygian, 3 to 3. 3 to 3. Lydian, 4 to 4. Mixolydian, 5 to 5. Aeolian, 6 to 6. Locrian, 7 to 7. Let me fix that. Come on. So, there. Whoop. All right. Okay. Now, down here is what I did was take a same approach, but I started them all on C. So C is the first scale degree of the C scale. So I went C to C. Okay. If I want C Dorian, C is the second degree of a B flat major. So I do B flat key signature, C to C, to find the Dorian. The Phrygian, C is the third note of A flat. So I put an A flat key signature, C to C. C is the fourth note of the G scale. So I go G major, C to C. If I do, C is the fifth of the F major scale. So there's my key signature, C to C in F. C is the sixth degree of E flat, C to C. So E flat key signature, C to C. C is the seventh scale degree of D flat. So I'd put a D flat key signature, C to C. Let's give these a listen, so you get a better feeling for them. 11 to end, and I'm going to slow it down even more. No, I want to go, let's see, let's do. So you get a better feeling for each one. Oops, sorry. My bad. Let's fix that. I want to go from measure 11. Well, I did go to measure 11. I didn't hit rewind. There we go. Here we go. So here are your C-based modal scales. Ionian. Dorian. Phrygian. Lydian. Mixolydian. Aeolian. And Locrian. So there you go. I hope this helps some of you out there in theory land. If you appreciated this content, if you found it helpful or useful in your life, drop me a line. The description link is in the description. I offer saxophone and a applied theory / composition course, 1-to-1, small group. If you're interested in that, the link is in the description. Have a nice day.